So with these small sweet potatoes, I'm going to show you a trick so you don't cut yourself. What I like to do is cut my first slice off the bottom and then flip my potato and make that so it's not going to be rolling.
So now you're doing onion.
I'm going to dice the onions, the carrots are already diced. I'm going to chop up some garlic. And this is going to be for the lentils. So we're going to have lentils that we're going to slow cook with the onions, the carrots, and the garlic. And we have a treat. In the summertime, when tomatoes were coming off the vine quicker than they could pick them, we took some of the Acre Farm tomatoes and we made a tomato sauce. So it is now the end of March, and I made that in the summertime. And we are now, I basically make the tomato sauce, put it in the freezer, and forget about it. So I'm using the last jar of tomato sauce. So one of the things that we'll spend time with everyone on is showing how to take produce and can it, or not can it, bottle it.
It's called canning.
Is it called canning?
It's called canning, yeah.
But it's going in a jar.
It's called canning.
Okay.
And the way we'll do it is they have the double lids, so it'll be preserved. And the term, I believe, which is used in America, is canning.
Okay, what do they say in Australia?
Bottling.
We're gonna bottle it. We're not gonna can. These aren't cans. I'm literal. We will bottle.
Yeah, we call it
our tomato sauce. So again, I'm just gonna julienne the ingredients. So I've got 1 carrot diced. I've got 3 cloves of garlic. There are my kids, Casper and Cookie. My 2 dogs are coming home from the groomers. So we're pretty low key. We're leaving them in the shot because you know what? Some of you have dogs.
Hey, gorgeous.
You know, a little confused. So the dogs are home.
They look very beautiful back from the groomers.
Yes. That'll last about a day. So for our lentil lasagna, we're going to use lentils that are going to be slow cooked with the onions, the garlic, and the carrots, and the tomato sauce that was bottled from Acre Farm.
Let's call it canned.
No, I'm going with bottled.
Preserved.
No, bottled. We're going to teach everyone how to speak Australian. We're teaching them a new language. So we are about ready here to start cooking our vegetables. So we're going to start with the carrots first because they're going to take a little bit longer to cook. Then we're going to add the onions. After we add the onions, we'll add the garlic and the tomato sauce and the lentils. The lentils is 2 pounds of lentils. This recipe does not call for 2 pounds of lentils. You could probably do it with 1. The reason I'm doing 2 pounds is that I will use those lentils in salads that I'll use with other vegetables that I got from my CSA. So as long as I'm cooking them, I'm just gonna go ahead and cook a little extra. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cook our vegetables for our lasagna. So a little bit of olive oil. It's probably a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. My temperature is high. We're gonna add our carrots. Again, we're cooking our carrots first because they're gonna take the longest. We also have a pot here for my lentils. So while those are going, again, I'm not looking to get them brown. I'm going to take my rinsed lentils. You can really use any type of lentil you like. There's no, these are turtle.
Are they brown lentils, Josh? Would you call those?
I would call it not a brown. I'll call it a green.
Okay.
And these are almost done. We're now going to go ahead and add our onion. Again, we're looking to get these translucent. This is that red chili pepper that I told you about that I got in the summertime from the farm. This is a hot chili pepper, and so I basically dried it out, and I'm going to put the whole pepper in with the lentils.
And you're going to, how much water are you putting in with your lentils?
Well, I'm going to put my tomato sauce from 1 acre. This is the summer tomatoes that that we went ahead and made a sauce with. And I kept this in the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and add some water. To my tomatoes.
Your lentils. So they're a little more than covered at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit more than that.
Okay.
We might have to add some more later. So my onions are about translucent. So now I'm going to throw in my garlic. The garlic, you really want to be careful that you don't walk away from this, because that will brown very, very quickly. That's it. So I'm now just going to take this pot, slide it on over. So this is my lentils, my tomato sauce, 1 hot pepper, some water. The lentils are now on high heat. Once the water starts to boil slightly, right before it boils, I'm going to take it down to a simmer. I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables. And this again is something you could do a day in advance. Have it in the refrigerator. Okay, so our lentils are starting to boil slightly around the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these lentils, move it to the back, and I'm going to keep that on a simmer. I'm going to get ready to cook the chard. I like garlic and everything, so I'm going to put 4 large cloves. There's a baby. So my garlic. For the chard, obviously your stems are your toughest part compared to the leafy. A lot of people throw this away. Again, delicious.
We don't throw it away.
Yeah, we don't throw it away. And I'm hoping that you won't throw it away. So what I'm going to do is just take it. I should point out this has already been washed. I'm going to cut off the ends, save those for my vegetable stock. And I'm just going to cut these up small. The stems are going to take longer to cook than the greens, so I'm putting those in a separate container because I'm going to cook them first. Then I will take my leafy part and I'm just going to, again, give it a bit of a chop. I'm going about a ½ inch thick. And again, you could eat this as it is. It'd be a lovely
this is delicious raw, like
yes.
Raw chard
So
is delicious.
So we could take a bowl of the chard, leave that for salad. We could take a small amount of the chard because we're not going to need much for the lasagna. I like the color of it in the ricotta cheese, and I also obviously like the flavor. So, Shelly, because you said it's delicious raw, I'm gonna throw an audible, and I'm not gonna cook it all.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to keep this amount for my lasagna. I'm going to save that for salad. Now, because this is going in the ricotta, I actually do want this to be smaller. Then I'm going to save this for my salad. I'm going to basically cover this with I want to point out it's not packed in. Again, let's talk about the storage here. This should last a week, okay? So I don't want to pack it in, I want it loose. I want the air to get to it. I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap, not tight. I want it to have the air so that will last longer in the fridge. Another thing you can do that will also help it stay fresh is take a paper towel to go ahead and put that at the bottom just to capture any moisture. It's already hot. I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil. I don't need much. I'm now gonna put in my greens that I've chopped up. This will not take long. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this for seasoning. It is almost done. I'm going to add my garlic. You can actually turn off the heat. I'm going to put a little bit of water, just so the greens in essence will steam in the pan. It will soften up the garlic a little bit. But again, once, you know, right before I added the garlic, I turned off the stove. That is it. I should point out this would be lovely as it is. So I'm just going to leave this in the pan and let the garlic soften a little bit from the steam that was created by me adding a little bit of water. And then we're gonna go get our ricotta cheese, get that seasoned, add this, and then we're pretty close ready to start assembling our lasagna. Okay, here's 3 pounds of whole milk ricotta. We're gonna go ahead and add 1 whole cracked egg. We're gonna add our Swiss chard with garlic. Now, if you wanted to, you could omit the egg. I like it because it will go ahead and bind the cheese a little bit. This is the Parmesan and Romano cheese. And I would say I'm probably doing about a cup of each. I'm going to add some nutmeg.
Is that about half a teaspoon?
Half a teaspoon. You can always, you know, do a little bit more if you like it. The cracked black pepper. I don't need any salt. You got, you know, salt from the ricotta cheese and then the Parmesan and Romano, so I'm not going to add any salt. And you can see the chard here is really more for color. There's going to be some flavoring to it, don't get me wrong, but it's not, you know, a key flavoring. So I just took a little taste. I would like a little bit more salt flavor. So in lieu of adding salt, I'm going to add more cheese.
Good plan.
And I'm also going to add some more nutmeg. I got a little hint of it. I would just like a little bit more. So I would say we're probably doing 3/4 of a teaspoon here. So this is ready to go. Again, this could be made a day in advance, put in the fridge. One less thing to worry about. It's going to hold. We also have our sweet potato. This is an Asian white, and your traditional sweet potato like you'd make candied yams with.
And so you've just got them sitting in a bowl of water?
Sitting in a bowl of water. If you wanted to, again, you could steam these in advance. What that will do for you is it'll make the cooking time in the oven of the lasagna a little bit less. Because we're gonna put them in raw, we're gonna really want these to get soft, so it's gonna take an extra 15-20 minutes. So we have our faux pasta, we have our cheese. The last thing we need is our lentils, and then we'll go ahead and start assembling our lasagna. Okay, so our lentils are pretty much done here. Just to recap, this is 2 pounds of lentils. It was 32 ounces of tomato juice or sauce. It was our sauteed carrots, garlic and onions. We added another 32 ounces of water as we had some evaporation. So now, when you look at them, when I taste them, it's al dente. So they're good. They could probably use some more salt and pepper. So the pepper itself is soft. I'm gonna save that and chop it and put it in. So what I wanna do now is I wanna take my lentils. I'm going to, with liquid, pour it into a bowl. Now remember, I cook extra lentils because I want to eat them.
It's a lot of lentils.
This is a lot of lentils. I love lentils, as you can tell. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and assemble our lasagna. I'm just using a standard Pyrex container. I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. And my first layer, since I'm going to use my bigger sweet potatoes here, I'm kind of overlaying them in a domino effect. The reason I'm using the bigger pieces on the bottom is when you cut into it, it's going to stay more together on the bottom.
Josh, the flavor of the white potato compared to the orange potato, is it the same?
Let me tell you. I would say the white one is not as sweet. It's lovely though, absolutely lovely. So I'm now going to put a layer of the lentils. So our lentils are mimicking our beef, if you would. The flavor is delicious. So again, hydrate, very important. Okay, now this is Foodies, Farms and Friends. And friends hydrate together. Friends who hydrate together stay together.
Definitely.
So we're now going to our sweet potato, which is going to be a little bit sweeter than the white. So again, another flavor. Again, like the skin, it's got a lot of vitamins. It's good for you. So what I'm going to do now is the ricotta, chard, the nutmeg. Now what I would like to do now is put Parmesan and Romano cheese on top of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with parchment paper, and then I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil, and it's going to go in the oven to bake. So we're going to go ahead and put the parchment. The reason I'm putting the parchment is I don't want the foil to get stuck to the sweet potato when you pull it off. I'm going to make this not tight and flat. You can see it's got kind of like an air gap. What that's gonna do is it's gonna allow the steam to stay in, and again, help cook the sweet potatoes. So this is gonna go in the oven, convection, we're at 400 degrees, covered. I'm thinking 30 minutes, 45 minutes max. That looks good.
Beautiful.
So I'm looking to see that it's soft. It actually is not. I can actually lift a piece off. No one will know. The sweet potato is al dente. So it's actually quite nice. It has some texture. I'm gonna finish up the Parmesan and Romano cheese. Now, I'm just gonna let this sit here, and the heat is gonna melt the cheese. And then this is Parmesan, I'm sorry, this is provolone and mozzarella. It's actually ready to serve as is. Or you could pop it back in the oven and get a nice brown. What do you say, Shelley? Brown or as is?
I'm happy as is.
Okay, then let's go ahead and cut a piece and see how it tastes.
Cheese.
Nice layers.
Looks beautiful.
It's for you. I really like the richness of the ricotta with the squash. The lentils are just beautiful.
The ricotta is beautiful and creamy. And the nutmeg comes through, which I really like. Sweet potatoes cooked beautifully. Good dish, Josh. Well done.
Thank you.
Yum.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, One Acre Farm, for...
Thank you, One Acre Farm, for the ingredients, and we look forward to sending you all more videos of wonderful things that you can do with their wonderful produce.